Hi everyone, welcome to Storytime with Anna Christina. Today's story is March of the Ants. Are you ready?
This is a story about ants. This is a story called March of the Ants. There was one. His name was Sid. He was the youngest, only a kid. He was the smallest of them all, and no one took notice, no matter what he did. One day he ventured out of the nest under the canopy in search of food. He saw a line of ants streaming over a hill, and he decided to go for the thrill. He joined the march.
Hello, Sid.
Head held high. He'd show them all. He wasn't that small. The ants marched, one by one, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, over the hill, around the rocks, into the green and down to the river. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Little Sid was having trouble keeping up at this pace. It seemed to him this was more like a race. Suddenly there was a noise, a rumble of thunder, and then rain. Bolts of lightning, thuds of hailstones, flashes in the sky, water rising far too high.
Look for a den!
Screamed the head of the ants. Sid almost wet his pants.
Run! Run!
The ants scurried around as fast as their legs could carry them in search of a den.
I found one! Over here!
Shouted Sid.
By the entrance! It's blocked! From the inside! By this rock!
The head of the ants came running over.
Look! There's a small hole in the side! Can anyone fit through?
No, sir! We're all too big! Shouted Sid.
Sid, my boy! Squeeze through that hole and push that rock out!
Sid crawled in, and he pushed, but
It's not moving!
Try harder! You're all gonna drown!
Sid took a deep breath, and he pushed with all his might. All of a sudden, the rock moved. Yes! Sid jumped up and down as all the ants crawled into safety. All that could be heard was the pitter-patter of raindrops. Getting lighter and lighter, Sid peered out of the dark den. Sunlight crept through the trees and danced on the floor. The forest was still. The storm was over.
Sid, you saved us!
Yeah! All the ants lifted Sid up in the air in joy. Sid was so happy.
Well done! You saved the day! Lead us on, Sid!
And so he did. The ants marched again, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, over the hill, around the rocks, into the green and down to the river. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there, at the head of the line was Sid, the littlest ant there ever was. And the end of the story? Next time you see a little black ant, don't step on it. It could be Sid.
Are you ready for the March of the Ants listening and visual game? Have you got your listening ears turned on? Great, then let's get started. There are many sounds in my music audio story March of the Ants, but did you hear the sound of the forest? Do you know what this sound is? It's the sound of footsteps. Let's listen again. And do you know what this sound is? It's the sound of rain. Let's listen to that again. When it rains, we can dance in the puddles. Raindrops sound like this. When it rains heavy, I put up my umbrella. And then sometimes I hear this sound. Do you know what that rumble sound is? It's the sound of thunder. Oh, I think it's stopped raining now. Now let's listen to some of the sounds in the music. This is the sound of the double bass. Do you know what this instrument is? It's called a trumpet. Let's listen to that again. In the March of the Ants music, I composed a part for the marimba. That sounds like this. Ah, that's really cute. Let's listen to that again. And listen to this. That is the sound of the kettle drums. Fantastic! I hope you have enjoyed listening to my sound effects and music parts from my music audio story, March of the Ants. If you want to do more listening, you can get a grown-up to print my printable from my website, and you can answer the questions about the story on the question tree sheet. I'm going to teach you some fun facts about ants. Are you ready? Let's go. In my music audio story, March of the Ants, a little ant called Sid joined a group of ants on a march. Now, in real life, ants do actually march. When they've found food, they each pick up a piece of food and march back to their nest, leaving a secret trail behind them. This means that other ants can follow the trail and find the food too. Ants are very strong indeed. They can carry up to 20 to 50 times their own body weight. What is a colony? A colony is a group of ants containing thousands or sometimes even millions of ants. Do you know how many legs ants have? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ants have 6 legs. Ants also have 2 antennae to recognise their friends. They look a bit like this. Do ants sleep? Yes, ants do sleep, but only for about a minute. However, they do have up to 250 naps a day, which is about 4 hours and 48 minutes. There are over 12,000 different species of ants all over the world. That's a lot of ants. Have you seen an ant? If you do, make sure you don't step on it. It could be Sid. Have you got your colouring in pencils and paper ready? You can create your own drawing, or you can use my principle of Sid the Ant. It looks like this. Ask a grown-up to download it for you from my website. When I do story time with the children at schools, nurseries and libraries, I find it fun when we draw together. So let's have a go. I'm just going to put Sid down here for now. In my story, March of the Ants, we met a little ant called Sid. So let's draw him first. Choose your colour. I'm going to choose black. And let's draw his body. Now he needs a head. Do you remember in my last video how many legs ants have? They have 6 legs. I hope you remembered that. Let's draw them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do you remember how ants recognise their friends? With their antennae. Let's draw those too. Our ant, Sid, lives in a forest, so let's draw some lovely trees. Tree trunks are usually brown. My leaves are going to be green. This is fun. Oh, let's draw a sun. The sun is yellow. See if you can draw a circle. I'm quite happy with my drawing. I'd love to see your drawing. Ask a grown-up to post it online and then I can see it too. In fact, we can see everyone's drawing if you hashtag Music Audio Stories.
Bye, everyone!
Meet Sid the Ant from my music audio story, March of the Ants. Sid lives in a forest. He loves to march. He is little. Sometimes he gets tired marching. This is his friend Rose.
Hello, Sid.
This is the head of the ants.
Right! We're going to march. What?
Sometimes Sid leads the march. Because even the smallest person can be a leader. I hope you enjoyed my music audio story, March of the Ants. Let's recap on some of the things you have heard and learned during my March of the Ants video series. First, you learned all about Sid the Ant in my music audio story, March of the Ants. In my first activity video, you listened to sound effects and music parts from the story and learned about instruments. In my second activity video, you learned some fun facts about ants. In my third activity video, we created a drawing and learned about colours. And in my last video, you met Sid and his friends. What fun we've had! Ask a grown-up to download my free printables for you from my website at musicaudio-stories.com. And post your drawing using hashtag musicaudio-stories on Twitter, Instagram or Facebook. Your drawing will be part of the Music Audio Stories creative world. Woohoo! I hope you have enjoyed my March of the Ants video series, and I'll see you for another story time very soon. Bye everyone!